Hi, this is Liz Dashboard and Database Solutions with another video. Today I want to show you how you can use Power BI to build a dashboard from an Excel file that looks like this. So what we need to do is I want a file to break down these two tables into two different tables in Power BI so I can create a report from each one of them. As you can see, this file here doesn't really help to be able to build a good report from it. So the problem that I have is I get an email every month with a new month added to each table at the bottom. And I want to automate this process so I don't have to keep manually doing this, add a month in a table and link it to Power BI. So the process right now I started doing is I get the email, Power Automate save that file over the old file in my OneDrive. I go to my Power BI and I want to refresh those tables so I can have a report ready to view for the team that I have. So to do this, let's head into Power BI, and then I want to import data from Excel. I want to get that table that we talked about right now. I want to split it in half. The first table will be, table 1 will be its own, and table 2 will be its own. So now we just hit on transform data, and under transform data, first step is to delete the columns that I don't need. So I don't need column 1 and column 2, column 7. If I right click on it, remove columns. And also I don't need the first row. So I just click on remove rows, remove top rows, and remove number 1 row. Now month data 1, data 2, data 3, and data 4, I want those to be my headers. So all I do is use first row as headers and like this. So now I have them as a header. Now row 1 that has null I want to remove. So I remove rows, top rows, and first row. Now the next step is, which is the tricky part, is how to remove the bottom table from total and under month to the total under month. So the easiest way I do it is by going and creating a conditional columns under add columns, conditional columns. I call this column, you can call it anything you want. I'm going to call it remove here. And then where I see total is under the month column. So I'm going to change if column name equal month and the value is total, then I'm going to put a remove on it. If not, just leave it blank. So now I have where it's total has removed, total has removed. Now the next step is to make sure that this remove is all the way down to the bottom to remove all those columns. So let's head into transform, and under fill I'm gonna say fill down, and now everything that I want to remove is filled down by the word remove. So now under this column I just hit and filter out the remove from the filter. Now I got the first table ready. Now I don't need this remove column anymore, so I right click on it and I say remove, and now I cleaned up the first table. Now the second exercise is to do the same thing, but I want to keep table 2 instead of table 1. So how to do this? So let's head back into Power BI, and now we do right click on the first and we say duplicate. So I duplicated that, then I go back to add columns. I can either do two things. I can filter out null instead of remove or vice versa, but let's play around with it and make it as keep instead of remove. And now I highlighted it to keep. Now the fill down automatically gonna fill down keep. Now on the filter, what we want to do is instead of keep rows where remove equals null, so we're gonna say where equals keep rows where equal keep. Okay, and click OK. Now we have it. Now remove columns, already removed that column. Now all I need to do is some cosmetics and clean up the first row because I don't need the total here and total here, so I filter them out. So I do on the filter, remove this total as you see like this. Now I don't need to the first three rows because I want to keep the headers as same as the last headers. Now if you don't want these, you can do the same thing. You can delete the first two rows and make the third row as a header, or you can, rename each header your own name. So let's delete the first three rows in this case. So I head back to home and remove rows, remove top three rows, and I remove the rows I needed. Now I don't need this data for column, so I can remove this column, and then all I need to do is month. I want to format this as a date because I see it here. Date type is any. I want it to be date. There's no confusion for Power BI. Same as here, I want to change this data type in table 1 to date as well. And now I close and apply. And now sheet 1 and sheet 2 is already completed. Now my report view, if we go back to table view, I see sheet 1 and I see sheet 2 the way I want it. So now I go back to report view. Now I can build my report. So every month now, when my new Excel file comes into my Outlook, Power Automate will save it and replace the old file, and that new file will have the new month at the bottom of each table. So now all I have to do is refresh my report Power BI in Power BI, and the new months will show up. And that's all it is. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again next time with a new video from Bliss Dashboard and Data.